So this month, I am participating in Inktober, and you might be asking, what is Inktober? Well, Inktober is an art challenge that was created by an artist named Jake Parker in 2009. He created Inktober as an incentive to encourage himself to draw something in ink every day. The reason for that was he basically just didn't think he was very good at it, so he made himself draw every day in ink for a full month. But that was just the beginning. With time, Inktober gained popularity, and eventually Jake decided to put out a prompt list every year. At that point, it was all over the place. Inktober was everywhere, and thousands of artists were participating. The whole idea behind Inktober is to create better drawing patterns for yourself. You can't get better at art if you're not drawing. So if you want to join in, it's not too late. There aren't really any rules. All you've got to do is draw something and post it. Just make sure that wherever you post, you hashtag Inktober. Or don't, I don't really care. I'm not your mom. Anyway, that was a lot of explaining, but now I'm going to draw something for day 6 of Inktober. So today I'm drawing a raven, which is interesting because I just found out that yesterday's prompt was raven. I didn't even read the prompt. I tend not to do that. I find that trying to follow a prompt stifles my creativity. I prefer to just let my brain do its own thing, Anyway, the sketching process of this one was pretty quick and simple. As soon as I was done with that, I went straight in with Copic markers and laid down a base tone. With this piece, I'm working in layers, so I laid down the first tone, then I'm going to go in with ink, and once I do a bit of inking, I'm going to go back in with the marker, then back and forth a few times. My inking technique on this one is pretty straightforward. It's just a lot of lines trying to make them look like feathers. I'm not really using a cross-hatching or hatching technique, just a lot of scribbles trying to fill in the areas and make it look as good as possible. For this piece, I'm aiming for semi-surrealism. I had the idea that this was some kind of mythical raven. I don't really know what that means, but it sounded cool, so that's what I'm going with. So once I got to a certain point of inking, I made a mistake. I came in with a white pen and I tried to lighten up a wing. It didn't work out. I then tried to cover it with Copic marker, and that just kind of made everything look muddy. So yeah, it took a lot of layers to finally correct that, but I think, as you'll see later on, it ended up working out for the most part, I think. Alright, so just ignore the fact that the raven is standing on some sort of floating branch thing. It's not connected to anything. It doesn't make any sense. I know that, you know that, but it looks kind of cool, right? I mean, I don't know. You don't think about it too much, just enjoy the aesthetic. So I started adding other ravens. I don't know where they're coming from. I think they might be like splitting from this raven, kind of coming out of that gooey ooze thing that's coming off of him, Again, doesn't really make any sense, but that's what surrealism is, right? You're not really supposed to think about it. You're just supposed to appreciate the art. So the piece is pretty close to done at this point, and I was looking at that background area. It just looked kind of blank and kind of boring, so I did a thing that I've been doing in a lot of my pieces lately, which is this line work background. It just kind of fills up the negative space and makes it look more interesting. Like, it makes it seem like there's a lot more going on than there actually is. It's just lines, but kind of tricks your eye. Then I was looking at the background and I wanted to find a way to up the contrast of the whole piece. So against my own judgment, I decided to use a marker and fill in that entire area. I was regretting it as I was doing it, but once I finished doing it, I didn't regret it anymore. That doesn't make any sense, but that's what happened. Alright, so you might not have seen that cut right there, but this is hours later. I bought a whole new pen, and I'm using that in here. And it's working a lot better. I'm actually figuring out how to get the white to work. It's not translating very well through the camera, which is frustrating, but once you see the final piece, I think you'll understand and agree that it definitely worked out. Posca pens, by the way, are amazing. The white ones especially, they're so opaque, and that's really difficult to find in a white pen. So basically just adding in some final details here. I like this white dot effect. It adds a bit of mysticality, and I don't even think that's a real word, but it's fitting. So this is the final piece, and honestly, I like it a lot better after I was able to take a picture of it in the right lighting. It looks correct, you know? I think it turned out pretty well. I really had a good time making it. It's one of my favorite pieces I've done in a long time. Might be one of my favorite pieces I've ever done, actually. I'm not sure yet, but I do like it. What do you think? Do you like it? I hope you like it. I also hope that you're taking care of yourself, both physically, but also mentally. These things are important. Please don't neglect yourself. And if you're having trouble, please reach out wherever you can. Someone will try to help. You are not alone, I promise. But that's it for me. I gotta get out of here, try to get some sleep. I put this whole video together today, which is not how I normally do it. I do these things in increments normally, so yeah. But thanks for watching. I'd appreciate it. If you've made it this far, then, I don't even know why, honestly, but I appreciate you, and I'll see you in the next one.